How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all revved up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Félix Lorioux. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a phenomenal artist, French artist that worked with Disney for a while and did a lot of children's books, and just a wonderful stylings and sensibilities, kind of in the vein of like a Gustave Tengrin or someone else, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But just look at these fun characters. It's got definitely those old classical European stylings with a nice little watercolory touch to all of his work as well. I just love his stuff. I feel like it's full of so much personality and so much life, and just a wonderful sense of character design, and love the color choices that he picks out as well. And just these characters are so great and so whimsical. I really dig his stuff. I urge you guys to check out more stuff from him. I think he is phenomenal and doesn't get nearly enough credit, or he isn't talked about nearly enough for how beautiful his stuff is, and how I feel like it really I wish there was more stuff in this vein these days. This is just a great little piece. It really reminds me of that Disney short, The Ugly Bug Ball, which is a wonderful little classic Silly Symphonies cartoon. If you get a chance, definitely check that out as well. But I did want to share a quote that I was able to find, and this is kind of attributed to him. Unfortunately, there isn't anything that I could find that is a direct statement from him, and like I said, he's French too, so probably there's resources out in different places that I'm used to that would maybe have some more things there. And feel free to share down below if you know of any great books or anything too that might be stuff from the artist's mouth himself. But this was a quote said about him, and I thought it was great too. And he said, "Reality bothered him. He accepted it only as he reconstructed it." I thought that was great. I know that for myself, I tend to I don't like getting too hoity-toity, or too looking at myself in certain lights. But when I look at the world, I definitely have my own way that I interpret things, and that I understand things, and the way that I see things. And I feel like that if you are a creative person, that's a very natural thing to do. You tend to have certain sensibilities and certain stylings that you want to exaggerate or minimize of things that you don't really fit in with your creative mindset so much. And you still want to be open to everything too, but you just kind of have your own sensibilities that you fall back on. And I really like that reality bothered him, and he accepted it only as he reconstructed it. And I think that if you want to be a phenomenal imaginator or illuminator or creative, whatever medium it is, that you have to not be satisfied with the world around you. You want to create and infuse your own personality and your own stylings and your own vision into the world, and share that with others. So let's go ahead and get into some animation. Apologize for the video. I think with having an audio track, I think the video's a little off here. So apologies about that. I'll look into XSplit and see if I can tweak some stuff up tomorrow or the next day. But we're continuing on with our secret password shot. We're using the Malcolm version 2 rig from Anim School, and we're using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video. For more information on that, check out the links in the description below. And I think for today, I want to work a little bit on some facial stuff, just setting out like a rough posing pass on the face. And I also wanted to see if I could get play around with these two little insignias and see if we could light those up to help accentuate kind of the timing of how this shot would work, and direct the viewer's eye a little bit more by making those a little bit brighter at certain moments. So I think that's going to be the approach for today. So let's go ahead and dive in. First thing I want to do is turn my NURB curves back on. Grab this guy and turn off our extra props here that we've got on. So I'll just get rid of those. So we're moving back to a lighter rig here. And let's go ahead and save our file. Okay, great. Remember, it's always good to save multiple versions and to save often. So let's go ahead and start with doing some facial stuff here. So I think at the beginning here, we're going to want him to be happy, but also concentrating is kind of the overall feel we'll want to start off this shot with. So raise the eyebrows up just a little bit, maybe a little bit more here. And we'll get the eyelids, bring them down a little bit more, up a little bit more here. Go ahead and bring the mouth over. And over again. And where's the jaw? Is this one the jaw? No, it's a chin controller. I think this is the jaw here. Let's start off there. And I think we'll also get the corners of the mouth up a little bit higher here. And whenever I'm doing facial stuff or lip sync, I do like a facial pose pass first, and then I go back in and do some lip sync on top of that. So I hit those main acting beats in the face, and then work the lip sync around those beats, so that incorporates that sense of acting and those facial poses into that stuff. Okay, so I think that works. Maybe a little bit of, let's see, where are those cheeks here? A little bit more. We'll start with that. And we'll still keep him fairly happy here. Eyebrows down just a little bit more. And a little more arch in the middle here. Now let's also look at the eye here. I want to make sure that that's looking down here. Is that right? No, is that not going to be where we're at? Where's our eye controller here? Hold on one second. Okay, that's cool. They're actually over here, so that's great. So let's go ahead and go back here too, and we'll go ahead and make sure that he's looking down at the tablet, so you actually get that eye contact looking there. A little bit up, I guess. Keep it down here. And then I think at this point, he should maybe be a little bit inquisitive as he looks up. Not angry, but just a little bit like, did that work? And try and get a nice flow throughout the eyebrows so they blend in there. And we'll rotate the jaw a little bit, make it a little crooked here. Mouth, bring those down and over. looks too scared. We want more like inquisitive or puzzled kind of a look at this point. And I think we'll take the lip and we'll push it up and over a little bit more. Something more like that, maybe. Leave that one alone. Might be a little too exaggerated. It looks a little almost grumpy from that side. We don't really want grumpy. So let's go ahead and raise the eyebrows up a little bit more overall. And maybe we'll bring the eyelids up a little bit here too. Something like that. And maybe the top of the eyelid up a little bit more here too. Like, huh? It didn't work? What? Okay. So, let's see. I'm gonna try something here real quick. And see if we can create a layer and hide that. No? Alright. I was hoping that we could have... No, let's go here. And we'll unselect that one, and that one. And we'll go ahead and set that. And set... that one. Go delete this one. Go on to do another pose here. So this is where he's looking up and it's not necessarily working. So this would be where he's, okay, now I'm focused. Let's get real focused. So let's bring the eyebrows down here. Again, we don't really want grumpy. We're just looking for more focused. And just so that I can see this a little better, let's grab both of those, create a new layer, and hide that just so I can really get into the face without having that in the way here. We'll turn it back on in a second. So again, we don't want them to look grumpy, but just focused. Maybe at this point we could bring this lip under a little bit. Lower lids up a bit more. And let's make sure these pupils are looking right down at it. So let's bring those down a little bit more. Okay. And we'll bring these lids down a little bit more here too. Get a little bit more up there. Don't want to, we want to try and make him not look angry, so I think we'll pull those up a little bit and maybe over a little bit more. Just kind of furrowed, kind of a brow here. I still want him to be, at this point, still fairly happy. So let's try and bring this lip up a little bit more. So I don't want him to seem desperate yet or grumpy yet. He still should be. Didn't work the first time, but still have a positive attitude. And maybe get a little bit of a rotate here. Yeah, bring those cheeks up, over, up, and over. And again, this is just kind of a key pass on our facial poses here. So let's see. And this one, where he's a little inquisitive, and this one, where he's focused. I think that'll work a little bit more on the lower lids. And you got to be careful because you want sleepy and angry and focused. You got to be, it's the subtle things that sell one over the other. Because if we make the eyelids too heavy, he looks sleepy. If we make the eyebrows and the eyelids too intense, it looks angry. So you gotta want to try and go for like a focused kind of a look. Is definitely in the subtleties, otherwise it can be misconstrued as a different emotion. So let's go ahead and grab all of this stuff again, and we don't want to do the neck here. So I'll go ahead and set, not there, that one. Go ahead to our next. At this point he'd be disheartened or flustered. So let's go eyebrows really up. Here. Like, oh, that didn't work. Uh-oh. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Why isn't it working? So I'll go ahead and open the mouth here. Quite a lot. And we'll rotate it over a little bit more. Okay. And bring that corner of the mouth back in. Wait, where is that? Is this the corner of the mouth? I think. Okay. And a little bit there. And same here. So I'll go something kind of like that. Maybe a little more lip. And a little more here as well. Okay. And again, let's just take a couple steps back so we can get everything what we want here keyed. And again, we'll not select the neck. And which frame was that? One for our next key. It was 89, so I'll set that one. And here he'd almost be angry and desperate. So let's do one here. Bring that down a little bit more, because this is like his last ditch effort. So it's a little mix of anger and desperation in there. Let's see. And again, we're going to have to go in and really do the lip shapes and the Muppet mouth pass and everything on here eventually, but this is just more of an expression pass here. eyelids up a little bit more. Okay. So again, we've got it didn't work. Now we're grumpy that it didn't work. Again, let's go ahead and key everything there. So I lock in that one. And we don't want to do the neck. And where was it? It's 98. This would be shock and horror and sadness that it didn't work. So I'll try and get that in there. Bring those eyelids up a little bit more. Corners of the mouth down, and probably over a little bit more, and we can go this one down a little bit more and over, and get those corners of the mouth down here, and just down, maybe a little bit back, and let's bring that a little bit more. Will work. So I'll go back again, grab everything on the head, unselect the neck, go back to where we were here. Okay, it's not working there. It didn't work. Oh no, it didn't work. And then we get back into this. And I think in the last one, his eyes will be closed here. Because he'll be having his tears of sadness. And bring those back down a little bit more. And bring that back down a little bit more here too. And get that eyelid down. Open a little bit more, and get these down a little bit more here too. And I think I'll throw a breakdown somewhere in between here. That would be with the lip closed and quivering there. So let's make sure we lock in that one again. So again, we're just going to grab all the facial controllers here and set everything there. I think we had another one. I think our other one was at 116, which is fine. And there, and then we'll set one here that's got like a kind of a quivering lip, maybe more of a closed mouth. Down here. And bring that up there. covers the skin there a little bit, so maybe that's somewhere else here that we're seeing it. See if we can try and scrub that out a little bit while still keeping a very similar pose there. Maybe it's more of a cheek thing, let's see. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. See, there's just that little bit of deformity here. Let's go ahead and push the eyelids up here. And should we bring those down a little bit? And is there one for... I was hoping there was maybe another set. What is this going to do for us? There we go, we could do a little bit of that. Stretch them out a little bit there. And maybe go a little bit different shape here. And a little bit there. Okay, yeah, that'll work as a kind of a breakdown in between those. Okay, so I think we've got a good rough facial pass on here. And how are we doing on time? Let's try and hit up that other note, and then if we can, we'll put in a couple of breakdowns in our facial stuff here. So again, let's just make sure that we're keying all that we need to on those important keys here. Go ahead and delete that one. So 98 was an important key. 97, go ahead and delete that, just so we don't flip into another 116, 107, 98. 9. Go ahead and delete that one because that's just our old facial stuff here. Let's see. This is where we were at there. I think we hit this one was one of our keys here. This is nothing. This is just a blank one, so I'll get rid of that. This was one of our focused. This is just blank, so get rid of that. Again, another blank pose. Just left over from where we were at before. Got here. Go ahead and delete that one. And that one. Okay, so I have a real rough facial pass here. So let's go ahead and see how it looks kind of to camera. Do maybe a play blast, see if we can get it all in there. Turn our curves off and try a play blast and see if we can get all that facial stuff in here. Won't. Alright, so this isn't the most perfect angle to get all this stuff in there, and it's just our kind of key poses and slow transitions that are just automated right now, but I think the main beats are there. Now it's just about kind of holding them and getting some better breakdowns in between there. So let's go with that. But I also said that I wanted to try and hit up another note for today. So let's try and see if we can get those things to kind of glow for us there. And I'm going to get that thumb out of that leg. That looks awkward there. So we want to get both of these. And we're going to have them kind of brighten up at different times to accentuate that he's looking from the tablet to the insignia on the wall, to try and get those to line up at the same time. So it'll help if we can lighten them up or brighten them up to keep the viewer's eye darting to the place that we want it. So let's see if we can do that. I think I've got an idea of how I want to do it. So what I'm going to do is copy that and paste another one. And that would give us this one, right? And we're going to make it a little bit bigger, push it a little bit more forward here, and assign, or look at assign a new material to it. Let's throw I think it's a surface shader on there, and look at surface shader 1, output color, something like that. It's a little bit brighter here. But again, we want to do something where it's got still kind of a similar blue to the blue that we have behind it. Something kind of like that. But again, we want it to be brighter because we want it to stand out here. And look at our transparency. Bring it so it's kind of like that. Outer glow. Okay. And maybe we'll make it a little. Let's look straight on how it feels. Something like that. Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, and what we want to do is like set it. Actually, I think I still want to look at trying to make it a little bit brighter and make the transparency a little bit more. Just want to make it bright here. Let's do something like that. Okay, so that'll work for now. We can always tweak it up. So we'll go ahead and set this there. And it won't have glown yet. And then as soon as he looks at this one, when he looks down again, set it there. And then we'll have it come out and glow here. Then as soon as he looks back, it'll have gone away again. So it's like nothing, looks down, it's up, looks back down again. Goes away. backs up again. Goes for just a quick second. Then back again. Okay, so let's just do a quick play blast and see how that timing kind of works here. Alright, it's the beginning I think is okay. Ending, I don't know that it works, so needs to hold up there for a little bit longer. It flashes for too quick. So I think we could get there a little bit faster. It's about 2 frames before. Should start going away about here. So it starts to go away as he looks back down. Maybe even a couple frames before. So let's see. Should start another frame sooner. And it could be here already at about 95. So he looks down, starts to see it light up again. Hold that for a couple of frames though. So he starts to see it go away. And it comes back on again. And then it goes away. Okay, let's play blast that time and see how that works. Okay, I think it needs to be a little quicker for when it turns off the first time, and just a frame or so longer on everything on the second time. So it should start turning off about there. And we can have it fully off while he's still kind of looking at it. This could be 1 frame there. Give me 1 more frame of on. Okay, I think that's probably about right. We'll do 1 more play blast and then we'll try and do the same on the little. Alright, I think that timing works. Now we just need to play off the timing so it's kind of back and forth between the tablet lighting up and the door. So let's go ahead and do that. So close this back up, go ahead and save our file here. And I'll have to figure out how we're going to do that though, because I guess we got to parent it to a locator, then parent that back onto the tablet, and then light that up so that we can still move that while it's still connected to the tablet. I think is how I'm going to do that. It's taking a second. Okay, and we're back. So let's go ahead and grab this guy, and we'll copy him, and we'll paste another one. this to show up a little bit better. And then we'll go to assign a new material. Let's see. Surface shader 1. There we go. Yeah, we can just use that existing one. Cool. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create a, because it's not parented to it, right? Yeah, it's just going to stay there. No? Is it? Let's see. Oh, cool. If I paste it, it stays parented. I wasn't sure if that was going to work or not. So cool, maybe we don't have to worry about the parenting. Okay. So we've got that one there. We'll have it do that here. Start off with it scaled down here. Let's see. Scale it down. Move it down so you can't see it. So we'll start off with it there. We'll get it to shine up here. Then we'll go back to where it was at about 58. I'll keep it there. And then we'll bring it back up here at about 95. So we want to keep that till about 90. And then bring 85 back, so they're never both on at the same time. And then I guess we could turn it back on here, even though it's not going to be really seen. Okay. And I'm sure we'll have to clean that up even more, but let's see how it feels here. So we've got this kind of slow lighting up here. And nothing. It sinks back down. It doesn't do anything. And that goes up. And this comes back on. I want to keep it on for a couple more frames so that it reads. Okay, I think that timing is close, so let's alright, I think that starting to work there, the timing. You get that little flash and it flickers back and forth. Now the other thing that I want to do, because I think we still have a few minutes left, is get that from kind of pose here to there. I think the arms move a little too fast. So let's go ahead and turn the nerd curves on again. I'll go and set there. And then set at about 123. Go and delete that. Hold that till about 111. Oh, hold on there. What are we doing here, Skippy? keys on that we didn't need. Why is that doing that? Alright, take a couple steps back here. Okay, for some reason the parenting was keyed funky there. Just wanted to make sure that I could still get in there and do everything. So I just reparented it and deleted everything in between. So undo that, and we want to hold like what we have at 107. Hold that till about 113. Actually, hold that only till about 109. Maybe we want to do it that way. And then hit that a few frames later. And we'll go ahead and bring this breakdown in between over. And we'll try and keep this. What's going on here with this arm? Why's it got so much stuff going on with the elbow here? Okay. Alright, so we got all this. Works okay up until about 107. And then we'll go 123. Go ahead and delete what's in between. We'll get 120 to hit at about 117. Oh, something's going on there. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Probably come back and bite me in the butt for not fixing it just yet, but that's okay. I think that's fine. 129's fine. So we'll get 127 to hit at about 122. Maybe even a little faster. Okay, let's just do a play blast on the timing on that, see if that... Okay, it's better, but it still needs some work. But I think we're getting close to our time, so I think I think we'll probably call it for right now. So we got some stuff. Let's turn the nerve curves off and do another play blast here. But we got some good passes on, doing some of the key facial expressions in there. We got the lighting up working, which I figured that was going to take a little bit of time to get done. So it's moving along. We still got definitely a lot to do. Now we're in kind of the breakdown phase. We've got a lot of the key moments working. Now we just want to make it more interesting for how it works, because it's just really kind of bare bones meat and potatoes for where it's at right now. So we'll do a play blast one more time. And okay, so like I said, we got some good stuff done for today. We definitely, the ending just kind of dies. There's really not that much interest in the arms in the beginning. I think we need to add a little bit of compression to the spine in the beginning. We need to break down the lip sync. We haven't really done anything with the lip sync, just done really a facial posing pass for the acting beats to the shot. And we need to do some stuff with the fingers, and then do kind of the crying or the sobbing shoulders at the end. So there's still lots of work to be done, but I feel like that was another good step. I like the idea of the flashing things. I think that helps sell the idea of what's going on there by getting that lighting in there. So it kind of directs the eye to what it's supposed to be, the main kind of keynote of how this is working or not working. But let's take a look back at where we started. We were looking at the beautiful work of Félix Lorioux. Again, comments down below. Let me know. I'm sure I butcher names all the time, not intentionally. He said, or at least was said about him, reality bothered him, and he accepted it only as he reconstructed it. So if you're unhappy with the way things are, and you're a creative person with a wonderful imagination, try and reconstruct things in a better way and be that example for other people in all aspects of your creative life and beyond that as well. So thanks for hanging out with me. I love you guys lots. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. I think we're still working on this shot. It's got a long way to go. There's definitely a lot of stuff that needs to be polished and pushed here with it, but the main idea is starting to come together here. So beyond this, it's just getting that sense of attitude and personality, and getting everything working together better, breaking it down, making it more interesting, because right now, like I said, it's still pretty meat and potatoes-y, which is okay. It's a good, give yourself a good foundation, that everything's working, then you can make it work more interesting. That's kind of how I work a little bit more. So I think that'll do it for today. If you're watching this, remember you are the creative future, so go out there and make something amazing today, and we will see you as soon as I can find that off button over here for some more animation, for some more imagination, for some more creativity,